class 7. I'm your biology teacher, Mrs. Sethi. Okay, I'll try to teach you this lesson of the first lesson of the book called the tissues. So before we start tissues, just to let you know that all living organisms, they are made up of cells, and cells we call it as the basic unit of life. All multicellular organisms, they are made up of many cells. So now cells, particular cells, they get together to form tissue. So how do we define tissue? Tissue is a group of similar cells which get together and they form a tissue. So we are going to study about tissues today. So now before we start different kinds of tissues, we divide them first into two kinds of tissues in two organisms, that is animal tissue and plant tissue. Now animal tissues have four main kinds of tissue. That is number one, epithelial tissue, nervous tissue, muscular tissue and connective tissue. So these are the four kinds of animal tissue. So I'll just give you a brief outline of these four kinds of animal tissue. Now animal tissues, the four kinds, like epithelium, we call it as a mostly protective tissue which is found in the outer lining of the organs which are inside the body, or even outside the body. The skin is the epithelium tissue, that is just protecting the inner part of our body. So that's a protective tissue. Then we come to muscular tissue. Muscular tissues, tissues found in our muscles. Now we have muscles in our arms, we have muscles in our legs, and muscles have a special property that they can stretch and they can relax and they can contract. Like when we take our arm like this, the muscle will contract, and when we bring it little down, it will stretch. So this is the property of a muscular tissue, and so basically they are found in muscles. Now muscles are not only outside the body, they are also inside the body. Like the stomach is continuously working, and so it's a muscular organ and it is made up of muscles. So what kind of tissues we find in the stomach? We find muscular tissue in the stomach. So this is just an example of giving you muscular tissue. Then we come to nervous tissue. The nervous tissue consists of brain and the spinal cord. Okay, that's called the central nervous system, where brain, and from the brain down leads the spinal cord. So they are made up of also tissues and called the nervous tissue. Mostly nervous tissue is there to send messages to different parts of the body from the brain, and to bring back messages from different parts of the body to the brain. So just to give you a little brief of nervous system, nervous tissues, that from the brains, nerves which are coming out are called the cranial nerves, and the nerves which are coming from the spinal cord are called the spinal nerves. So they're going outwards, so we also call it as a peripheral nervous tissues. So these are nervous tissues of the nervous system. After the nervous tissue, we come to the connective tissue. We have talked about epithelium, muscular and nervous tissue. Last is connective tissue. Now connective tissue is those tissues which are actually connecting different parts of a body. Now inside the body, organs have to be kept in place. So the space between them, to bind them, we have the fibrous connective tissue. So these are keeping them connected. Then we have the other liquid connective tissue, or before that liquid we come to supportive connective tissue. That is the bones are the supportive connective tissues. Then we have another connective tissue, like two bones have to be connected together, because we don't have a single bone anywhere, like a thigh bone and a leg bone. If they have to be attached, connected together, they have to be connected by a tissue, and that tissue is called the ligament. Now as I told you, fibrous tissue, alveolar tissues, which binds the organs. The space between the organs is consisting of alveolar tissue. Then we have another tissue called the adipose tissue, which is filled with fat. Just like under your skin, the first layer is fat tissue. And then we have this connective tissue called the tendon, and it's basically all four are connecting the organs of the body and so this is known as connective tissue. Now we have the fluid connective tissue also, known as the two connective tissues are blood and lymph. Now blood, you all know that it is red in color and it is flowing in the arteries and veins, and lymph is a white liquid which is also flowing parallel to the blood vessels. These are just an outline of the four kinds of animal tissue. Now we talk about the plant tissue. Now plant tissue, we divide them into two main tissues called the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. Now meristematic tissue are basically found in the growing parts of the plants. Like they are found on the tips of the plant where they are growing, new leaves are coming and they grow from the tip. Then sometimes branches come out, and so they are lateral meristematic tissue, helping the plant to grow sideways or even in the width. The stem is growing thicker and thicker, so the outer part of the stem has meristematic tissue because they are dividing and multiplying and adding to the stem. Then we have at the tip of the root also, the roots, they tend to grow downwards into the ground deeper and deeper, and so tip of the root also has meristematic tissue and helping the root to grow downwards. So basically, just you have to remember that meristematic tissue are found in the growing regions of the plant. That is the tip of the plant, which is called apical, lateral, that's the side, and then the root. So these are meristematic tissue. Now permanent tissues, they actually arise from the meristematic tissue only. Now when meristematic tissues, as they stop dividing and then they switch over to permanent tissue. Now permanent tissue, like we have simple permanent tissue. Now simple permanent tissue, then we have the complex permanent tissue, and then we have the special or secretory tissues. Now permanent tissues, they help in, like in aquatic plants, they help the tissues, they help, this permanent tissue help the plants to float in water. Then in other plants, they store, permanent tissue help to store food, like we can take potato for example. The permanent tissues there, they have, food is stored in the form of starch. So like this, many food is stored in them, and these are all consisting of permanent tissue. Then, okay, they provide hardness to fruits such as nuts, coconut and almonds. These are permanent tissues again. Then some tissues, permanent tissues, they contain chloroplast, which help in carrying on photosynthesis in the plant. I hope you all know photosynthesis. With the help of this process, that is during sunlight and in the presence of green color in the leaves, they're taking carbon dioxide from the air and and take water from the roots. They are able to make food or synthesize food in the plants. And then certain permanent tissues are also involved in transportation and give mechanical support to the plants. Now transportation, they are complex tissues like the xylem and the phloem. Now these two are called complex tissues. Xylem carries water from the roots to the different parts of the plant, and phloem carries food which is manufactured in the leaves during the process of photosynthesis to different parts of the plants. So permanent tissue can be simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So this is all what I will just talk about today. We have lots to do in detail about functions of each kind of tissue. So next time we'll talk about the different functions of each kind of tissues, like permanent tissues functions, meristematic tissues function. Now when you look at your book, look at the chapter in the book, you'll find difference between meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. You'll find diagrams of meristematic tissue, permanent tissues, different kinds of simple tissues. So just go through the chapter by yourself and see what you have understood. So this is just a brief introduction to your first chapter. Also exercises which are given at the back of the chapter. Look at them and see, are you able to answer them, or have you understood what I have explained right now, or have you become familiar with the terms which I am using today? So next time I think we'll have a better this thing session of the same chapter. And thank you. Study hard.